This one is going to be about the slave Bible in Washington, D.C., which just, they've been releasing the documents of it. And passages been torn out from the Bible. And it was used as a message and as a means to keep slaves under a certain mental aesthetic and beliefs. And it was also done to suppress. See, this is a very dangerous slope, but this is something that continues 400 years later, and it's been part of the history. Sad to say, because there are people who will use slavery as a means to say to be obedient, subservient, and allow yourself to be thought of as property. And then how it impacted and affected African Americans from education, housing, living conditions, which still consist of today. People who ever doubt why reparations, an apology, and a balance in America are needed need to understand what the slave Bible, because when you hear the Bible Belt states, and when you hear about people's views, the church is still the most divisive. And people who call themselves so-called Christians were also people that were indoctrinated with slavery and have used it in all counts of life. So hearing about the slave Bible is not a shock or surprising at all, because you get this arrogance. And when I mention white privilege, when I mention that, in part, that comes from a psychological mind data control act, which is very real. It's not something that you just wake up one day and it's just like, okay, well, we're going to snap our fingers and have everything go a certain way. It is indoctrined, and it starts with, because again, it was against the law for African Americans to rewrite and the particulars. And what is the one thing that's always a consistent? It's been the King James Bible. It's always been a consistent with ordain those laws and follow those laws. But when people have used other methods and modes to sway things their way, it got tampered with, got whitewashed, and it got used in a way to control the mind, the spirit, the soul. So this discovery, which is something that, being African American in America, it's there. It's just like, we're going to pinpoint all the details where it trades back to, but you know that it is there. And this is unfortunately, but another reminder of how and why things are where they are in so many ways. Anyways, videos about the Slave Bible, which is in Washington Museum. I would tell people to go do the research and understand. You always wonder why people say you can't leave the past alone, because the past represents the present. And unfortunately, it can stain the future if you don't do something about it. All right, that's my take about the Slave Bible. Feel free to leave comments or hit that subscribe when the bell rings. It's a new video. And you have a good day and enlighten and educate. Peace.